Okay, thank y'all for coming today. Okay, so I wanted to talk about like getting into the habits now that kids are back in school and like creating those daily habits and holding ourselves accountable to that.
Mm.
Um, One of the things when we're trying to like get into work mode, I don't know, at least I experienced this. I'm assuming this is normal, but I'm real notorious of going through seasons of like I'm like on my game. I'm working out. I'm eating healthy. I'm showing up to do the things, and I feel it. I'm feeling super successful, and then I hit a rut, and then I self-destruct, and I lay around, and I become lazy, and I binge watch TV, and I don't want to do the things, and I want to eat Cheetos, and then I'm like, and then it's back, and it's a roller coaster, right? And I was just talking to JJ this morning, like I did not want to schedule this call. I did not want to show up. I did not want to get dressed. And it's easy to get stuck in these cycles when we have like a really tough week and we're really productive and then we crash. And so I wanted to talk about kind of how we can stop from being on that roller coaster of productivity and then just sluggishness and back and forth and like ways to do that sustainably so that we don't fall down. And I was watching a video, kind of a training video over this morning, and he was talking about the do something principle. And what I thought was interesting when he was talking about this do something principle is typically like we find I'll listen to a training call, right? On something, and it will give me inspiration. And that inspiration, motivates you into action. And we think of this as a linear thing where it's inspiration, motivation, action. But really, it's circular. According to this do something principle, it's circular. So you don't have to start with inspiration to be motivated. You can actually start with action. So anytime that we're in this rut or we're in this place where it's like, I just don't want to do the hard things. If we just start with an action, you start to feel motivated and then you gain inspiration. So it can go the opposite way or it can go anywhere in the circle. And just even like it's so interesting, like hearing this because I literally like was talking to JJ an hour ago and she's like, what's the call over? I'm like, I don't know yet. Can we talk about Mexico instead? and and so I like went into my bathroom and started putting on my makeup. I picked this topic because I was like, okay, I was looking at my daily checklist and I'm like, okay, I need to focus on doing my daily things. And I went in there and started watching this video. And like already this morning, I am feeling momentum. I'm excited for the day now. I'm ready to go on a walk after this. I'm ready to do the things. And I literally, if there were no Monday morning call this morning, I would still be in bed right now, just scrolling Instagram, looking at reels. That's where I would be. And because that's where I'm at. Like I said, when I get into these places, it's all I want to do. And so one of the things, so I challenge all to help to do this with me to try to get off of this spiral roller coaster and to start with the do something principle. So how do we do that though? Like, what do we do? Like, how do y'all, what is y'all system? I want y'all to think about like what you feel like when you are at your best self. Like, I want you to think of a time when you felt like you were successful at your business, you were successful with your health, you were successful with your home life. Like, think about that moment in life and what were you doing? Like, what were the things that you were doing then that helped everything just seem to come together? I know I have seasons where it's like everything is just flowing perfectly. And I like to think, like, what are the habits I was doing? And so I use one of these. I have one of these little writing tablets. Mine's a box note. And I take it with me everywhere. I cannot live without it. So whether it's digital, whether it's your phone, whether it's a notebook, it is vital that you have something though that is like your central hub and it can't be your brain. Like your brain is not going to remember all the things as much as we think that it can. It can't. You have to have a place that your brain dumping all of your thoughts, not just your schedule, not just your to-do list, but actually your thoughts too. So if you're not writing down your thoughts, start trying this practice because it really helps. You forget things, at least I know I do, but it's human nature to like think of an idea and forget the idea. you know, you may be inspiring yourself all day long and just forgetting these little inspirations, and that's preventing you from getting into that momentum. So what I have that I do on here, this is, and when it comes to systems, like everyone's going to be a little bit different for what works for them. So don't try to duplicate the exact same thing unless you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, that would be perfect for me. So I have 3 checklists. I personally love a checklist with a box that I can literally check. There is something about the dopamine hit of clicking the checkbox. And it is going back to that do something principle. When I start to knock things off my checklist, I want to do more of the checklist. And so have something like that. I have 3. I have a health checklist, I have a work checklist, and I have a home checklist. On my health checklist, let me pull it up for you. I can kind of show you. You can kind of see. This is what it looks like. I literally have to write my vitamins down on here individually to make sure that I am taking my products. I have weights on here. I have walk, run, cardio, yoga, HOTWORX. It's the gym I have. I have no alcohol on here to make sure that I'm, you know, skipping some days and staying good. I go to cryotherapy. I have read is one of my things on here. And then I just have an other. So I kind of write it in if there's something else I do. And of course, I'm not going to do all of these because I'm not going to run and do yoga and do HOTWORX I'm not going to do and do weights all in one day. But I love trying to like fill up as much as I can. On my home checklist, this is where it's just like my basic things I need to do. I have laundry, I have dishes, I have meal plan, I have groceries, I clean out the litter box, you know, just the basic stuff around the house. Some of them are very simple. I've intentionally created some of these very simple so that I can give myself a win with a check. Because it just mentally, it gets me back into doing the things. And then the work checklist. And this is the one that we really want to get in to the practice of daily is our work checklist. And you can see this again from mine. Basic IPAs. There's IPAs all over the place. You can easily find these if you want an IPA. I know I have some on the team board on our training manual. But everybody, you know, everyone's might be a little bit different to what's important to you, but there should be some basics on your daily checklist. What I have on mine, I have check team page. I have check reset page. Y'all don't have to do that. I have my follow-ups with my customers, follow-ups with my leaders, coaching calls, make a post, make a reel, post in stories. These 3 right here, I like really need to be held accountable on because I'm so bad at ignoring my social media. And so this has been helpful for me recently. I've just gotten back into this checklist here. So if you are one that also struggles with making your social media post, it's very important to have this on here. Respond to messages, respond to project broadcast, connect on social, connect on stories, listen to a training, and plan events. These are my things. And I know that there are more that you can add. I always have an other at the bottom because there's other things I'm always working on and doing. But whatever it is, make sure you have a list. Have a list of something that you're doing because we unfortunately have a job that we do that has a whole lot of distractions. A whole lot. When we are working on social media, like nobody is focused enough to go on there and just do all the things that they're supposed to do and get off of there without something to hold them accountable. Like none of us are able to do that because we are human. And so if you don't have something that's holding you accountable when you sit down at your desk or when you sit down with your phone or wherever you're doing your work, then you're setting yourself up for failure. So make sure you have some sort of a list with you when you sit down to work. And if you have on your list, like some of the things on my list is connect on social and connect on stories. Those things are scrolling social media. Set a timer. Set a timer. Like do not let yourself get stuck into scrolling on those Instagram stories or on Facebook and you find yourself 45 minutes later and you haven't commented on a single thing. Like I'm so guilty of that. So set timers, set things and set reminders in your calendar. Like that's another thing. Like you can do this daily if you want to. You can do this, whatever it works for you. But make sure you're having something that bings up on your phone. Maybe by noon, be like, have you done your checklist? Have you started your checklist? Maybe something like that. It bings at you to make sure you have started doing the thing. And then last, make sure you're prioritizing self-care and rest. It's why I do love my health checklist, because a lot of the things on there are self-care activities. But make sure you have a full day of rest scheduled into your schedule. And I know this is hard for some of us. I know some of us are workaholics, Misty. I know you love to do the things, but seriously, like, schedule in rest for yourself, because we're not superhuman. Like, it is so important for you to enjoy your life. It is so important for you to enjoy. And even if work brings you joy, like, we really do need to take time to step away. It's what sparks that creativity in us. It's what sparks that passion in us. Sundays are my break days. It works great for us. It's the Sabbath. And so it has always been my non-work day. And be strong in your boundaries. When people reach out to me on a Sunday, I'm going to let them know, hey, I'll get back to you tomorrow. Like, today is my day off. I'll get back to you tomorrow. It's okay to take a day off. You're not going to miss out on anything. I promise. Everything can wait. Very, very rarely is there an emergency on a Sunday. Yeah, and the first day of the month. JJ knows I take that day off too. My only exception to the Sunday is if it's the last day of the month. And then that's the one day I'll move that day to a different day. So those are kind of some of the big things that has helped me stay focused in doing the daily things. Again, I fail at it regularly. I'm so notorious for getting on that roller coaster, but just make sure when you start to catch yourself in it, try to be self-aware. When we find ourselves in that place where we're feeling low and we're feeling down, like, for me, like, the best way out of it is to go on a walk. Like, because usually when I'm feeling low and I'm feeling down, my hormones are off, my vitamin D is low, I need some sunshine, and I needed to get moving. So that is like my favorite on the do something principle thing to do to try to get things into action. And the last thing I meant to say earlier, when you're doing your checklist, another big tip that actually I think is very kind of helpful for me, and a hard one sometimes, is when we're going through your checklist and when you're looking at all the things to do that there is to do, pick the hardest one first. And that's no fun to do, but when you're looking at it, if you really challenge yourself to, like, start with the big thing instead of procrastinating on the big thing, do the big thing first, and then start to stack in those little things. So it's really going to help you from A, procrastinating, and from B, get that ball rolling, get that momentum going for you throughout your day. So those are kind of my tips there. Do the hardest things first, make a list, set things into your calendar, and give yourself rest. So what I want us to do this morning, if you don't have a checklist, if you don't have a system that you are currently using, I want you to create something. I can even send the Canva links to mine. I was just thinking about that.
So I am very different than most every person I know. I hate checklists. Absolutely hate them. So I do horrible with them. Like, if I create one, I immediately feel a sense of chaos. I'm backwards.
Okay, so explain that. Why does it make you feel chaos?
I think it's because I go back to my whole career has been, it starts with chaos and then we unfold it and make it non-chaotic or less chaotic. And so, and there was never a checklist. You couldn't use a checklist in my career. Yeah. Everything was spontaneous and everything was like, think right now. And so I feel like that's, for me, like, checklists make me anxious. They truly make me anxious. Like, I can't do it. But what I do have is like 900 notebooks. And so I've done away with those. I ordered it's called Rocketbook Fusion. And the Rocketbook is basically a whiteboard. and you just scan it and it saves it. And so I'll take notes on every single thing I do, and then I erase the page. And then like this was full of Diamond Sprint notes before this call started. So I saved them, and then I'm starting over with notes here. And so I'll take notes as I go here. It has a calendar in it, so I can move to calendar dates. So it's for me, I think this is the only way I can really make a checklist like or notes and keep up.
Yeah. Yeah. So how are you holding yourself accountable for daily things? I know you don't look at the checklist, but
I do them every day. It's memory. It's literal, like every day I do the same exact thing. And I may do them in different orders, but I do the same exact things every day.
Okay. So make sure though that you don't expect other people to do that, because that's not normal.
No, that's what I was just saying. It's not normal, and I know it's not.
Yeah, just want to make sure that,
like, I actually recommend. And I ask people, how do you work best to keep things organized? And like Carmen, for instance, I know Carmen is a checklist person. So we worked together in Canva to create a checklist for her that would work for her, like built for her specifically.
And I can't see that.
Oh, yeah, one second. Can't see it.
Hang on. Let me unblur my background here. It's on my, you still can't see it. That's weird. Okay.
I think it's backlit.
Yeah, it's in Canva, but I downloaded it or put it into my notes app called Notability. And that way I can choose whatever color I want and fill in the little bubbles of, okay, I've checked that. I've done that. I've done that. And then, oh, go ahead.
Oh, does that app send like notifications or anything to like remind you?
No, but what I have on my calendar is like I work 12-hour shifts on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So Monday and Wednesday are my days. And then I have a spot that says Friday if you can, because sometimes not everybody comes in the clinic after 5 o'clock and I have a little bit of time. And so the next day, or when I'm done with that, I'll go back to the previous day and I'll just erase all my check marks and I'll start over so that I have that one spot I can keep the notes. Or I can make a screenshot, make notes on it, make a screenshot, and then make a new note out of that. So it's kind of a repeatable thing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's neat.
I wish you could see it. It's really cool.
I know.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think it's probably because of the backlight.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Oh, nice.
Ta-da.
Yes. So is yours just a work checklist?
For now it is, but I'm going to be making changes because this is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love having, like I said, I love having like, even just like the home checklist. And I love like I used to do Fly Lady. Have any of y'all heard of Fly Lady? Do you remember her? And I'm kind of trying to go back to that system a little bit too, because she would break the house up into zones. And I'll just do like on my checklist, I just have like 15-minute zone cleaning. And so like each day would be a different zone where you just kind of are like touching up this room or touching up this area. And so I love just something like that to keep me, because that's the other thing. Like if I start cleaning, sometimes I can start something and stay doing that and forget to do the other things, So I like something that's like set timers, stop, move on to the next thing type system. It works well for me. How about you, JJ, Sarah? Anyone else? What do y'all do? What systems do y'all have?
Systems aren't really great for me. But yesterday, I've started like a meal plan thing. So I'm trying to get organized where at least like that is off my plate.
Yeah. So is it like a meal plan? Is it like plants telling you what to cook already, so you're not doing it? Is that what you mean?
So this one is like you do the prep and then you can put it in your freezer and you just put it in your crock pot.
Gotcha.
So it prints everything for you. It prints the recipe, it prints the label you put on the bag, and it prints the grocery store list.
Oh, yeah. See, I like to cook too much. I like to cook like dinner time, like cooking time, usually for me is like a relaxing time of my day. I don't like to plan the meal though. That part's the hard part. I get tired of planning and grocery shopping. If everything was just there, if I just came in and not the ingredients were there, and I enjoy the cooking part, which I know some of those box meals are kind of that way, but they're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes, I use my virtual assistant for my to-do.
you
a
what?
lot. I use my virtual assistant a lot
Oh.
for like to-do stuff.
So what certain things off your to-do list do you have her do?
So she does all of our perks. She does all of our follow-up systems. And then posting on our team pages.
Yes.
The basic mundane stuff that gets real boring, but you need to do because it's important.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Carrie, are you there? Do you have a system in place that's working for you? She can chat. No, Sarah's at the gym. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I want everybody to like I said, if you don't have something in place, get something in place for you. I can share a link to this Canva. I'm not gonna post it here because whenever I do the recording, you won't see it. So I'll post it in the comments on the recording when I do that. And does anybody else have any thoughts this morning? Any plans for the week? I'm gonna stop this recording.